Federal government launches initiative to transform Nigeria into $1 trillion economy by 2030.
We have been uniquely blessed and positioned to change the trajectory of our nation.
52nd Ordinary Session of ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council underway. Regional security tops agenda.
And Senate constitutes ad hoc committee to conduct holistic investigation of oil and gas industry.
Even the issues of the act, the PIA, we must look back at the PIA. We have a right as a parliament. Don't we have the right? We have the right to look back and see whether the thing is working for us or not.
Nigeria today, we shall take a look at increasing oil production in Nigeria.
All right, now the nation's black gold appears to be in need of redemption. Reports indicate that Nigeria is losing about 400,000 to 600,000 barrels of crude oil to oil theft and illegal bunkering, and that's estimated at 2.2 trillion naira as at 2023.
Indeed, data from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, suggests Nigeria's oil production swings between 1.46 million barrels per day to about 1.7 million, while the latest data from the Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission revealed the country's daily oil production stands at 1.25 million barrels per day, and this is in spite of efforts at tackling pipeline vandalism and oil theft.
Conflicting figures, Victor, and of course industry players are also not satisfied with those figures, and they insist that Nigeria's potential for crude oil production can extend to 2 million barrels per day if only insecurity is checked. And I mean, this is not the first time people are raising that concern, really. But that is why the NNPC Limited, that is, on Tuesday at the Oil and Gas Energy Week, declared a state of emergency on crude oil production. And according to it, it is going to war against oil production challenges.
Now, the group managing director of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, maintains the war would enable NNPC and its partners to promptly overcome all identified challenges, create more effective and efficient production, and reduce delays in procurement processes.
All right, and still quoting the NNPC Limited, part of the plans to boost production is also to replace all crude oil pipelines built more than 40 years ago and introduce a rig sharing program with partners to ensure that the lifespan of the rigs, of course, is 4 to 5 years.
Now, Nigeria's oil and gas sector is considered the black gold of a nation's economy and reputed to be the live wire of its revenue, but its oil production outlook is under tremendous pressure, inundated with barrage of issues ranging from social, environmental, security and technical challenges.
And I'm sure that, Victor, when the Dangote refinery was announced, everyone, marketers, Nigerians, everyone, had the hope that the refinery or the emergence of Dangote refinery will bring down at least to some variable minimum the price of PMS, and we all know that rising from 200 naira per liter to nearly 700 naira per liter in some places, of course, after the removal of fuel subsidy will generate some, concern. But the fear that the lack of access to local crude oil may also be a long hurdle to getting, even cheaper PMS. That's regardless of the Dangote's input into the system.
But the Dangote Industries Limited has another hurdle, as it recently accused the international oil companies, IOCs, operating in Nigeria of undermining the operations and profit margins of Africa's largest refinery. By the way, also here is the largest single train refinery in the world, and they're asking for high premiums for domestically produced crude oil.
All right, so, and the OPEC, that's the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and Allies, have set Nigeria's crude oil production quota at 1.5 million barrels per day, that's MPBD, until December 2025. But Nigeria has continued to, put nothing less than 4 billion naira into reviving, our refineries. And of course, the gap still subsists, and that became evident in the conflicting figures of our production capacity that we just read out to you. And the question will persist: what can we do to shore up production level? And indeed, that's the precise question that the MD of the NNPC was asking. What can we do to shore up production level? And is Nigeria ready? Are we ready to really exceed, the expectations that, of course, meet our production quota or even exceed it, and, begin to derive the expectations that Nigeria, have been hoping for? And so today on Good Morning Nigeria, we will look at, issues around the stepping up of our oil production lately in Nigeria, or how we can increase our oil production capacity. And that's the thrust of our conversation this morning. I am Claire Adelabu Abdul Razak. Always we welcome you to the program, and we thank you for joining us. Victor?
Well, you asked if we are ready, if we can achieve it. Well, I'll say all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And I'm quoting, I think, Walt Disney. Well, I'm Victor, so thank you for joining us. We are reaching you on the network service of the NTA. Newspaper review will come later, precisely after the news highlights from Olajide Bello. Good morning, Olajide.
Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Claire. And the red and black actually complement each other. You guys are looking top-notch.
Thank you.
Good morning, Nigeria, and here is the morning news. The federal government has launched a new initiative to establish an operating model and framework for economic and financial inclusion to transform Nigeria into a $1 trillion economy by 2030. Vice President Kashim Shettima said the initiative symbolizes the commitment of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to enhance financial and economic inclusion across Nigeria.
In this initiative, to recognize the weight of your responsibility, we have been uniquely blessed and positioned to change the trajectory of our nation from a nation rich in potentials to reality. You have all been entrusted with the vital national assignment, and I have full confidence that you will bring your best efforts to ensure its success.
The Senate has set up another committee to conduct holistic investigation of the oil and gas industry. Among terms of reference of the committee, being chaired by Senate Leader Apoyemi Bamidele, are to check parameters used by NNPC Limited to examine shipments, direct sale, direct purchase arrangements, as well as timeline for completion of repair of government-owned refineries.
Part of the investigation should be why one of our refineries is producing, but the market in Nigeria either is blocked, frustrated, or whatever. He has to go and sell it outside.
No, it's that even the issues of the act, the PIA, we must look back at the PIA. We have a right as a parliament. Don't we have the right? We have the right to look back and see whether the thing is working for us or not.
President Bola Tinubu has charged the executive and legislative arms of government to create more channels for Nigerians to voice their concerns and participate in policy formulation. This was his message to the Legislative Open Week organized by the House of Representatives.
By opening our doors, we invite scrutiny and dialogue, which are essential for improving governance and strengthening democratic institutions.
We must engage through town hall meetings because not all citizens have the means to come to Abuja.
The necessity for engagement and talking with the people at all times is an absolute necessary ingredient for a healthy democratic journey.
The 52nd Ordinary Session of ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level is underway in Abuja. The participants include ministers and ambassadors of ECOWAS member states to harmonize viewpoints on issues of regional security in the sub-region and the Sahel.
It is therefore crucial for every country within ECOWAS, including those in the Sahelian belt, to understand that the fight against terrorism is not the burden of a few, but a collective responsibility. We must therefore remain united and demonstrate unvacillating commitment and resolve to safeguard the lives and futures of our citizens and community.
Those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Claire and Victor after this break. Don't go anywhere.
The federal government